You start life dry, light, no bigger than a grain of sand. You've been stored in a packet or shaken from a dry stalk months ago. You don't know it yet, but you're one of the slowest, pickiest growers in the garden. You'll need patience and a lot of luck. One day, someone presses you into the soil. Shallow, fine-textured dirt that smells of compost and clay. You settle into the ground, half-buried, surrounded by stillness. Nothing happens for a long time. Other seeds are already sprouting, but not you. Celery takes its time. Days pass, then a week, then another. If the temperature isn't just right, warm enough but not hot, damp but not soggy, you stay sleeping. Sometimes gardeners think you're dead and plant something else over you. But if you're lucky, and the soil stays moist and warm for 2 weeks, you finally stir. You crack open, a pale root tip pushes downward, threading through grit in search of water. A thin sprout curves upward, breaking the surface slowly. You blink at the light. A tiny green hook uncurls. 2 soft leaves open. You're here. You're alive. The sun feels gentle and the air is cool. That's good. Celery hates heat. You drink in sunlight through your small leaves and stretch toward the sky. You grow slowly, focusing on roots. You send them deep, hunting for steady moisture. Celery is a thirsty plant. You need water, and lots of it, every day. If the soil dries out for even one day, your growth can stall or warp. The key is consistency. Above ground, your leaves grow broader, dividing into feathered shapes. Below, your base begins to thicken. Pale, ribbed, not yet the stalks humans recognize, but the beginnings of that tight-packed crown. Every layer you add stacks upward in tall, watery columns. You live in a tight row with others like you. Crowding helps shade the soil and preserve moisture, but it also means competition. You stretch carefully, adjusting to shadows, always drinking and always working. You need months, not weeks, to reach your full form. And in all that time, you're vulnerable. Rain is a gamble. A steady drizzle keeps your roots happy. But a hard storm? That can splash mud into your centre, clogging the folds between stalks. If it's too heavy, the water can pool at your base and rot you from within. Celery can't stand to be soggy. Not like that. And pests find you early. Leaf miners drill winding paths through your tender greens, scarring the leaves and slowing photosynthesis. Aphids cling to the undersides of your leaves, draining sap and leaving sticky trails. Worst of all, fungal spores hide in the soil and creep up your base. If the humidity rises and airflow drops, you might wake one morning with soft spots or black splotches blooming across your stalks. You try to grow clean. Tall, crisp, unblemished. That's the goal. But every day brings new problems. A dry breeze might dehydrate your outer ribs. A splash of cold rain can chill your roots. A sudden heat wave can twist your leaves and trigger bolting. When a tall flower stalk shoots up before you're ready, wrecking your flavour and texture, you don't want to flower. Not yet. Not ever, really. Bolting means the end. Still, you keep building. Layer by layer, you thicken and rise, leaves fanning out, stalks pressing together into that tight, crisp heart. You feel strong now, not fast-growing like radish, not underground like beet. You're slow and above the surface, exposed to everything. But your structure holds. You're nearly ready. But you've still got a few weeks to go, and a lot can happen in that time. All it takes is one dry afternoon, one blast of wind, one rough step from a farmer's boot, and your carefully built stalks can crack, bruise, or split. This is the celery life. No shortcuts, just patience, hydration, and constant risk. Now you've been growing for weeks, and honestly, you're kind of a big deal. You've got height, you've got structure, you've got that pale green shine that screams, "Hey, I'm hydrating and proud." But this isn't the finish line. This is Celery Boot Camp. And things are only getting weirder from here. For starters, your middle is getting crowded. All those stalks you've been carefully stacking, they're pressing tight, rib against rib, like passengers in a hot subway. That snug formation is great for staying upright, but it also turns you into a perfect moisture trap. If the air gets too humid and you don't dry off fast enough, fungus starts throwing a party between your ribs, brown spots, slimy textures, mildew colonies treating you like their summer resort. Not ideal. And then there's sunburn. Yes, sunburn. You'd think a plant would love the sun, but no, not you. Your inner stalks are shy. If the outer ones bend or break and suddenly the sun hits your core, boom! You're dealing with celery tan lines. Those bleached out streaks aren't just ugly, they ruin your market look. Growers call it blanching gone wrong, but let's be honest, it's a fashion disaster. By now, bugs know who you are. You're not a secret anymore. You're leafy, juicy, full of water, basically a walking buffet. Earwigs like to chill in your base. Caterpillars roll up like they've booked a weekend stay. And those tiny white flies? They flap around like paparazzi, leaving weird, sticky residue everywhere they go. You'd file a complaint, but you're still stuck in the ground. On a good day, the breeze flows gently through your leaves, the soil is damp, and you feel yourself firming up. Tall, crunchy, proud. But the weather has a sense of humour. One morning you wake up and it's 35 degrees Celsius. You're not built for that. Your leaves curl, your stalks soften, and your roots start sending frantic messages like, more water, please. Right now. A gardener might step in with irrigation. Or not. Maybe they're on vacation. Maybe their hose is broken. You don't get updates. All you can do is wait, parched, wilting, listening to the tomato plants gossip about whose mulch is better. But finally, if luck is on your side, your moment comes, harvest day. A human hand brushes aside your leaves. You feel the grip tighten around your base. Then, yank. Your roots snap and you lift off like a vegetable rocket. It's oddly peaceful. You dangle for a second in midair, still dripping with soil, then land in a crate with a dozen others just like you. Everyone's buzzing. Nice stalks, someone says. Tight crown. You spend the evening cooling off in a shady shed, stacked neatly in bundles. You feel proud. You survived. Rain, drought, bugs, mold, random foot traffic, and you made it. Next comes the ride. You get wrapped, boxed, and bumped along in a truck that smells like carrots and cardboard. The road is bumpy, but you try to stay cool. You've heard stories about bruising, about falling out the back of the truck, about a guy who got packed next to onions and never recovered. But your crate holds strong. When you arrive, it's the grocery store. Cold shelves, bright lights, constant elevator music. They line you up under misting machines that spray you every 30 minutes like clockwork. You miss the sun, sure, but this is your new life. Clean, hydrated, and on display. Shoppers walk by. Some poke your stalks. Some check your label. One lady mutters, "Too tall," and grabs the guy next to you. Rude. Then, finally, someone picks you. You're wrapped in plastic, tossed in a cart, and wheeled into a kitchen that smells like soup and ambition. You get rinsed, sliced, maybe dipped in peanut butter or stirred into a stew. Your ribs crunch like thunder. You bring texture. You bring flavour. You might not have been fast or flashy, but you grew tall. You held your water. You stuck it out. And in the end, you were worth the wait.